Morning students, I am Shomajit sir. Today I am here to deliver my lecture on topic natural resources. So I am starting a fresh new chapter, that is the last chapter of class 10. The chapter name is Management of Natural Resources, and from this chapter I will start with the first topic, that is natural resources, and also I will cover the three uses of R. Clear? So watch the entire video lecture to gain basics out of it. Stay at home and stay safe. So without any delay, let's start with the topic natural resources from the chapter Management of Natural Resources. So let's start. So from the topic Management of Natural Resources, let's see this in detail. And from this chapter I'll discuss about natural resources. So this is the last chapter of your class 10. The chapter name is Management of Natural Resources, and we'll be discussing about natural resources. So let's start. So you can see beautiful diagrams I have shown of the natural resources. Clear? So it can be of renewable, non-renewable, isn't it? And they can be of abiotic, biotic, different components are there. Abiotic component, biotic component. Clear? It also deals with ecosystems also. All right, so you can see a lot of abiotic substances like rocks, clear, stones, and biotic substances like animals are given, isn't it? As well as abiotic, like see, water is given, sunlight is there. All right, now what is natural resources? See, natural resources are the resources available in a nature, like in water, air, sunlight, soil, mineral, forest, wildlife, etc. Clear? And natural resources are of two types. They can be of renewable and non-renewable natural resources. So we know that renewable natural resources means what? That can be renewed, and non-renewable natural resources are what? That cannot be renewed. All right, so what is renewable natural resources? Renewable natural resources are those resources which can be replenished in a short period of time, like air, water, sunlight, forest. All right, so these can be renewed. And what are non-renewable natural resources? So these are that kind of natural resources in which, that means which cannot be replenished. There, so these are that kind of natural resources which cannot be replenished or cannot be renewed in a short period of time, like minerals like coal and petroleum and natural gases, metals. These cannot be renewed in a short period of time. It takes years, ages, decades to get renewed itself, isn't it? Because they take millions of years to be formed. That's why petroleum and diesel are told to the consumption of petrol and diesel has been said to minimize, isn't it? We should control electricity also, so we should minimize the use of it. All right, so because it is formed after millions years after. So human activities produce a lot of waste material which are thrown away into the environment. These waste causes pollution to the natural resources like air, water, and soil. So we know that human beings produces lot of waste, isn't it? Like plastics and all, they throw here and there. So these natural resources like air, water, and soil get polluted. That's why we know that there is a air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, isn't it? So let's move to the next slide. Now, what are the 3 R's to save environment? We have 3 R's to save environment. R means, first R is reduce, second R is recycle, and the third R is reuse. All right. So what does reduce mean? Reduce means to reduce the consumption. Clear? Like reduce means using less of natural resources and avoiding wastage of natural resources. All right. So what does reduce mean? So reduce means you have to minimize the use of natural resources, as well as you have to avoid the wastage of natural resources. You should minimize as well as avoid the wastage. Clear? You should not use it lavishly. All right, so you should conserve it for future generations to come, isn't it? Now what is recycle? Recycle means what is recycle? Let's see the definition. Recycle means the material like plastic, paper, glass, metals, etc. used for making things can again be used for making new things instead of synthesizing or extracting new paper, plastic, glass, and metal. So recycling means one thing we can repeatedly recycle, like we can recycle making new things, right? All right, we can recycle like plastic, we can recycle paper, we can recycle glass, we can recycle metals, we can recycle. All right, like circulation time. And what is reuse? Reuse means we use the same product again and again. Reuse means using things again and again, like the plastic bottles in which we buy jams, pickles, etc., can again be used for storing things in the kitchen. So like whenever we buy oh, plastic bottles or like candies, isn't it? Chocolates and all, so we get plastic bottles. So these plastic bottles should not be thrown. This can be used in the kitchen household purposes, isn't it? So these are reuse. And recycling means like whenever we buy water bottle, isn't it, drinking water, we throw it in stations and all. So these water bottles are recycled, right? So one is reduce, one is recycle, another is reuse. So these are the 3 R's to save the environment. One is reduce, recycle, and reuse. This is very important. You see below the diagrams have been given. Recycle, that means the cycling part. And see recycled paper articles, you can see, isn't it? So student, these are the homeworks. You have to copy down the questions and write the answers. What is the first question? Define the following. First is renewable natural resources. That means define renewable natural resources, define non-renewable natural resources, define reduce, define reuse, define recycle. All right. And next next question is name the 3 R's to save the environment. And third question is give few examples of renewable and non-renewable natural resources. All right. So thank you my dear student. This was all about today's video lecture. Here I have discussed about natural resources. I have discussed about the topic natural resources from the chapter, that is the last chapter, management of natural resources. So after this chapter is over, your entire class 10 syllabus for bio will be over. Clear? And this chapter is very short. It will not take much time. 3 to 4 classes is required to complete this chapter. So watch the entire video lecture, gain basics out of it, and stay at home, stay safe. I'm Shomojit sir signing off for today, and again we'll meet in the next class. Thank you students.